Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Soz.
Fine. You're gonna have to stop being
Dude, that dramatic
Yeah.
effect, that's what the hell was.
Alright, sorry, alright.
Alright,
Go.
we'll go one more time. What is your name?
My name's Mackenzie Lawler.
And would you be able to tell us why you're in a wheelchair?
I'm in a wheelchair because I was born with cerebral palsy spasticity diplegia when I was born.
We just wanted to know what you think the hardest part of being in a wheelchair is.
The hardest part being in a wheelchair is not being as independent as you would like to be, and just relying on other people to help you out when you don't really want help.
So you feel like you always have to travel with somebody.
Yeah.
Awesome. Nice and simple.
Cool.
Let's roll.
Was that it?
All good? So, do you think that's a door made for disabled access?
No, the door's heavy.
They just slap a disabled sign on it and pretend it's a disabled...
The door's really heavy.
Oftentimes you'll look around and see somewhere with disabled access, but things aren't always as they seem. Hi, I'm Ronan Heim. It's time we looked a bit closer at disabled access.
Alright, so QUT calls this wheelchair accessible. It says online, this is wheelchair accessible. Do you think it is?
No.
Why is that?
It looks daunting and it's very uneven. The ground's not very straight.
You're going to be shaking the whole way up.
Yeah, and I'm going to be so exhausted when I do it myself, and if I have nobody, I'll wheel up this hill and be so exhausted by the end of
Exactly.
It's a really significant struggle to understand why it is that the fundamental process to seamlessly connect people from their homes to destinations and venues, why that isn't taken in a paramount sense.
What do you think architects have to keep in mind when they're designing a wheelchair accessible?
They have to design for the notion of an inclusive community using a new guideline that's been established by the Federal Department of Transport, and it's called the whole of journey. It says, right, you want to provide a service, stop focusing on the location, start thinking about getting your customer or participant from their front door to your front door and back home again.
So places that have wheelchair access that doesn't really work, what do you think that they can do about it, the shop owners?
That doesn't really work.
Laws are in place to help wheelchair-bound people with accessibility, such as the Disability Discrimination Act, the Queensland Disability Services Act, and the Social Security Act. However, as Sub Saman points out in a Guardian article, the reality on the ground can be very different.
Alright, so when you're walking down the street, you kind of don't really notice the little issues of wheelchair access. But as soon as I point out something to do with it, you sort of start to notice it everywhere. So for example, right here, there's a step right in front of the store.
How would you be able to get up?
You can't.
Is that for all of
And then
this
you
as
start
well?
to notice all along the street, it's all a step. None of it is wheelchair accessible.
Oh.
It's ridiculous.
I'm Benjamin Cox, and I'm a able-bodied person.
Alright, Ben, you've lived your entire life as an abled young man. Now it's time to live your life in a wheelchair. So places that have wheelchair access that doesn't really work, what do you think that they can do about it?
That doesn't really work. They can plan to somehow provide the service differently. In other words, there's a bell outside and the staff come to you. They look at their tenancy agreement and they say, we've got 9 months to go on this tenancy agreement or whatever it might be. Let's start looking for a property to rent. That is accessible. That simple.